Hi everybody, welcome to Melbourne City Land Rover's series of virtual handovers, and today we're going to be focusing on the Range Rover Velar. The car and choice we're going to be looking at today is an R-Dynamic SE. Let's start taking a bit of a look and let's go through. The idea for this video will be to have the tablet or phone on you at the whole time. You can walk through the car with us as we show you through the vehicle. Let's take a bit of a jump inside. Cool, so let's start on the outside of the car. Full keyless entry on a Velar. So mirrors sitting out, door handle sitting out, we know the car's open. To lock it, all you do is literally press this button on here, mirrors will fold in, car's unlocked. With the key in basically my vicinity within a meter, all I do is walk up to the car, press the button, open the door, and we're ready to rock and roll. Coming around to the back of the car. So for the tailgate, in between the E and the R, single press of the button, full power tailgate pops up. While we're on the boot, to close the boot, single press from here. You also have emergency buttons across the whole side of the car as well, which is going to be these rubber strips, which are on the left and the right hand side. By pressing that in, that's an emergency stop button. This can be adjusted for the height, so just get it to the height that you want it to go to. Hold this button down for 13 seconds, and that'll save that memory. Moving into the back of the car, you've got these really handy little hooks coming through here, which you can use for shopping bags. You've got the full luggage rack, you've got the 12-volt power supply in the back, and space saver spare wheel will be under here. Car's optioned up with a full-size spare wheel, will obviously sit up through here. Jack and all your other tools just hiding in the back through there. For the fuel filler on a Velar, when the car is open, like this one is, one single press, that'll pop open. Remember, petrol for petrol, diesels for diesels. The diesel vehicles will also have their AdBlue nozzles on the left-hand side there as well. Moving on to the inside of the car, your memory seat function buttons are just through here. Lock and unlock up the top. Once you've got your seat position where you want it to go, just press M, and then 1, and that'll save, and the little setting will come up in the interactive driver display. To adjust your mirrors, left and right side from there, just pick the side you want to change. Mirrors and everything through here and windows, and also your electric child lock on the car there. Moving to the seat adjustment itself, just in the bar here, so bar coming through to move forward and back, and we've also got the tilt, and vehicles with additional lumbar support functions will just sit above there as well. Let's take a look inside. So let's start off with the steering wheel in the Velar. Nice leather bound steering wheel coming through from here. Windscreen wiper is going to be on the right hand side. To put the windscreen wipers onto automatic, one single nudge up. To adjust how sensitive they are, just this dial here. To do the front washer, bring the whole thing towards you, and that'll do the front washer. To do the rear wiper, to turn it on, is the end of the stalk here, and to do the rear washer is the button just there. Moving on to the steering wheel itself, for your cruise control, this particular vehicle has been fitted with the drive pack, so it does have adaptive cruise. Once you're at the speed you want to drive at, just press set, and then you have resume, and then you have cancel coming through from here. To close the gap or lengthen the gap, close the gap is on the right hand side, lengthen the gap is on the left hand side. So you can just literally adjust that as you're going through. This is to turn on and off your lane departure warning, and this is for the speed limiter, which is designed if you're in a school zone or a construction zone where, say, it's 40 kilometers an hour, and you don't want to go over that speed, just press the speed limiter, and it won't let you go over that speed unless you press the button again to cancel or you completely flatten the throttle. Horn in the middle, pretty nice and easy. And coming across to the left-hand side of the steering wheel, we have our volume controls. So with this volume, once we have the media going, we can actually spin this around and control the volume through there, okay? To switch in between radio stations or favorite CD tracks, everything's all through here. For the phone, buttons and controls from there. Once a phone call comes up, it'll come up with green or red to answer the phone. This button here is a favorites button. So once you get into your own Velar, press this button and the options will come up on the left-hand side main screen, and basically you can choose whatever favorite function you want that to have. And the voice controls just from here, nice and easy voice control. Phone, call contact, call back. Let's move up into the top interactive driver display. So this is going to be a little bit more in depth, and with this, we do heavily suggest, just spending a bit of time having a bit of a play with it. This is all controlled through the menu button in the center screen on the steering wheel. So, explaining the interactive driver display, left-hand side we have the speed, we have whatever speed zone we're in, so at the moment we're in 60, and the fuel gauge. So this particular car showing it's got half a tank. In this particular car, we've got our setup with the 2 dials, and we've got the map in the middle, but I'll show you how to change that. The park brake's on, and it also shows on the right-hand side that we've got our stop-start's not going to be functioning because it's a bit too cold at the moment in Melbourne, and also the revs on the right-hand side. The information down the bottom right is the distance to empty. So by pressing the button on the left-hand indicator stalk here, we can actually adjust that information coming through. Distance to empty is what we mainly suggest it's on, but you can have your interactive driver displays change different ways. The date, how many Ks the car's done. If you're a bit of a trip computer person, you can have your trip, average speed, average fuel, these kind of things as well. adjusting this is pretty easy. Just press menu, which is just going to be this button through here, and it brings up the whole list of functions coming from here. With this, you can get right into this, or you can basically leave it as it is, but what we would suggest is jump into the info panel, and this lets you change what you want in the center screen. If we're running the 2-dial setup, so for example, we can have more of our driver assistance happening here. If we go to the actual display layout, this is when we can choose what we want in our center screen. So we've got it on 2 dials at the moment. You can go to the 1 dial, which is a bit a la Porsche, dare I say. Big nice rev limiter in the middle. You can also go, which is pretty cool, you can change what you want in the left and right hand panel. So you can go into here, you can say, right, I want my, argument's sake, my off-road information or my media. So it's pretty cool. You can really bring it up. By coming across to here, we can also go through down to here, display layout, and you can actually also go to full map. And just by pressing up to close, now we've got our full map screen coming up through there. This is pretty cool. You can actually do a fair bit of customization. Coming across to the vehicle settings is where we can do our security features. And so security features are things like, do you want the car to two-stage unlocking, which is where when you walk up to the car, it only unlocks the driver's door, then you have to press unlock to open up all of them, whether you want the car to drive away, lock, and these kind of things. I'd definitely suggest spending a little bit of time configuring the car to exactly what you want. Coming through the vehicle information to show you all kind of last VIN, last alarms. Media is pretty straightforward. With the driver assistance, so the cars do have autonomous emergency braking. So if it does sense an accident, it is going to kick in. We're just going to go, this particular car's got the full pack, so we're going to jump into the steering assistance. And this is where you can choose, and even the speed limit awareness, sorry, traffic sign recognition will keep on. Steering assistance, perfect. So this is where you want to choose what level of steering assistance you want in the car. So by going into lane keep assist, we can say, yep, I want it to steer us back in, or just give us a bit of an alert. We can also adjust that sensitivity on the lane keeping system. So you can say, look, I just want it to vibrate, or I can actually want it to steer me back into lane. With this, we very much suggest spending a little bit of time and just basically working out, at what level of driver assistance you want into the car. With this coming through as well, any questions you've ever got, look, definitely feel free to touch base with the team at Melbourne City Land Rover. We'll always kind of walk you through, just how to set up the car to exactly how you want it to be as well. I'd always suggest having a bit of a play just to see what kind of display settings you prefer. Some people like full map, some people like 2 dials. I'm personally a 2 dials on the map in the middle guy myself. Let's move into the top interactive driver displays from there, and let's go into Duo Touch Pro. So moving on to the top screen, this is going to be the main function center for the Velar. So basically the best way to imagine this, just like an iPad. So basically as you're going through, it's literally just swipe to the right, swipe to the left to go through different menus. If we get into the home screen and we go across to the right hand side, you can actually do a customized home page through here by just doing a long press onto the screen. You can actually choose which icons you want and don't want. So we just hold that down, press the plus, so it's my home on, and you might say, yep, I really want my voicemail. So, and you can move it to exactly where you want it to go. Let's come back here. Perfect. And you can literally drag it straight down to there. And we can make the icon a bit bigger or a bit smaller. By coming back, we'll just go back to the main screen, which is what most people are going to be using. So we'll start off with the nav, nice and easy. So 2 ways you can use navigation, which is online or offline. If you wish to use it online, the card does need a data-only SIM card inserted into the center console. For this, we always suggest using a Telstra data-only SIM, and then that will make your navigation go completely live. The other way to use it is offline, which for most people is completely fine. This is coming straight into a navigation screen. So if we just want to have the map going, just press the map, and that'll just be constant running through the whole time. It'll bring up speed limit zones, speed cameras, these kind of things. By jumping back, and then we're just going to press the little menu button from here, literally just like a search bar. So you pop in search engine, and you'll notice very sharp, very quick, nice little system to run through. Let's go. And then it's going to give us our options here on the right. Most importantly, you can also say go home on this one, search distance and everything through there. With the media coming through, so once we've got the media on, we can always control the volume just from the bottom screen down here, which is pretty straightforward. This particular car's got Meridian sound system on it. What I would suggest is once you get into your own Velar, literally just press the favorites button through here and spend a little bit of time going through picking what stations you do want and don't want. By doing that, you literally just press the star and press the star. And the reason for this is I'll show you through, so how to get the 2 screens going. It's a lot easier. If you want to switch between, say, your radio and your phone, just hit source, iPhone will come up there, or USB or Bluetooth, whatever you're using at the time. With your media, there is no CD player on a Velar as well. So typically most music will be plugged in via Bluetooth audio streaming or through a USB iPod. Coming onto the right hand side, we've got our phone connection through here. Pretty nice and easy to pair the phone, pair a new device, jump into your settings and go through from there as well. Contacts and everything will load up on its initial startup as well, okay? Moving down into the buttons we've got here, so we have the camera button here to the bottom left, we have the parking sensors. So with the Velar, as soon as I go into reverse, camera pops up, front sensors start coming on as well. So right now we have the front and the rear sensors, and we've got this one set up with the 360 sensors, and this one's actually got self-parking, which we'll go into in a bit. When I go into drive, you'll see the front sensors stay on. Okay, so they'll stay on for about 10, 20 seconds, under 40 k's an hour. If I though go into park and then go straight into drive, we'll just go through there, into drive, you notice the front sensors don't come on. If you're driving into a car park and you're worried about the front, you can literally just, under certain speeds, just turn the front sensors on from there, okay? Coming across, this is our shortcut for our nav, this is our shortcut for our phone, this is our shortcut for media, Bluetooth, and the settings. A few important things to note: the Velar touchscreen, the front one, please don't try and adjust it with your hands. Just press the settings button through here, and you can actually adjust the screen angle from there, okay? You can also change this display theme that you want to have going. This is in the black, which typically is what we have, but you can also go to a white setting, so if you're finding it a little bit hard to see. Your home settings and everything are through here. This is where you can actually choose your wallpaper and these kind of things. So it's pretty cool, pretty customizable little car. One of the key things that we do heavily suggest here at Melbourne City Land Rover is adjusting and connecting your car to the internet at home. And I'm just going to walk you through how to do this. By jumping into connectivity in the settings screen, what you can do, just scroll down until this is where you can get the car mobile data, but we're just going to connect it to an external Wi-Fi. And the reason why we're going to do this is a lot of the vehicles have a lot of software obviously happening with the Duo Touch Pro system, and there's a lot of updates and upgrades that are coming through similar to your phone. So through this, just connect the Wi-Fi to your external Wi-Fi at home, and the car will basically connect, and what you will then see, a little button will come up here, software update. So then we can just go through here, we can literally just say check for update. And what that's going to do, it's going to ensure your Duo Touch Pro system is completely up to date, which this one is, thankfully. But heavily suggest if you're having any issues with it, just give us a call. We're always happy to walk you through it as well, okay? Coming across over to the right hand side screen, we've got our eco data up the top left. That's just if you want to see how fuel efficient you've been driving. Interesting fact to see, this is your accelerator. Basically your accelerator pressure is adjusting and affecting how much fuel you're using. This is to show obviously speed and obviously your brakes as well. It gives you a pretty good little breakdown. It even gives you the history to see what drives have been good, what drives haven't been good. Coming back, the cameras, pretty nice and straightforward. Just brings up the rear camera feed, nice HD camera feed in the Velar. Coming back as well, in control apps in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I'd definitely say refer back to our Apple CarPlay video, but pretty nice and simple. Plug it straight into Android Auto, plug it straight in, it'll bring up the second screen. But we do have an additional Apple CarPlay video coming as well. So definitely if you want to get the most out of your vehicle with CarPlay, check that out. Valet mode, once you jump into here, this will basically give you put a PIN number in, it'll deadlock your glove boxes, and it also won't show your home address in the navigation system. Live services and web browser for the cars that are connected to the internet, and the contacts will just be for your Bluetooth. Coming across here, you've got the voice control. That's where you can train the voice control to say, for certain commands that you might want to have. Bluetooth settings, pretty straightforward for your phone. We will jump into the 4x4 mode in a minute when we go through the bottom screen. We've got our vehicle dimensions coming through, which are pretty nice and easy. Just letting you know how tall, how long the car is and these kind of things. Also what approach and departure angle we've got happening at the time. I'll just press that on there, which is pretty cool. A few little hacks with this, which I'll show you now. Basically, with the top screen, so let's just say you want to have the nav going on up here. What you can do then, if we move down to the bottom screen, which is where you have your, let's just jump into there, which is where kind of you have all the vehicle setups, that kind of stuff. By pressing these buttons here, you can have your media and everything down here now. So what you can do, in effect, you can kind of drag the information down. By what I was saying with the favorites, by pressing the favorites button here, we now get a really nice list of what's going on. By also swiping across to the right here, we can also bring our phone down, which makes it a really good way. You can kind of have the 3 different screens interacting in a different way. And then by pressing this button here, we can just go back to our controls. And this is kind of where the bottom screen is really cool. These buttons and everything will all adjust compared to what I've got running up here. So if I go to my climate, I'm going to adjust my climate. For my heated seats in this car, I'm just going to push this in and adjust it as I go through. And you can basically see the adjustment of how the heated seats go. When I go to my vehicle mode, this now, right-hand side button, will now control the off-road functions. So in this particular car, you have dynamic program, you have eco mode, you have comfort, you have grass, gravel, snow for any loose, low grip surface, you have mud and ruts, which is for the more heavy-duty mud rut programs, and that'll also, if we come up to the top screens from here, change our full display up here. So now we've got all our off-road modes and everything coming through. It also engages our hill descent control as well. So you'll see we've got our little green car coming up through the top there. To adjust the speed for your hill descent control when you go over the edge, you literally just use the cruise control buttons to adjust that speed as you're coming through. But moving back to the bottom screen, we can now adjust everything through here, which is what makes this function really cool and what makes this setup really cool. When we do our seats, we go straight to our seats. When we do our climate, we go straight to our climate. When we do our vehicle, it adjusts what we need to do from here. With the off-roading, we also suggest definitely going on your Land Rover Experience Day. Really good team there. They'll walk you through everything and they'll be able to show you how a lot of this works in person and in practice, which is the most important part. Most important question on the whole car, how do I turn off the stop start? Up here on the top left in the vehicle settings. So you literally press that. No, you can't disable it permanently. Coming through from here, we have our air conditioning controls and our rear demister. This is to do our fan settings, which we can always adjust from the left-hand side as well. And this is to do our recirculation. Volume control just here. These buttons down below here, so the max AC, front demist, traction control off, and hill descent control. These are hard press buttons, so you do have to hold them down for just a little bit. Turn it on and off from there. The gear selector, pretty nice and easy. So once we're basically foot on the brake, and nice and straightforward, foot on the brake, park. Once we go into reverse, you feel the pressure comes off. Neutral, drive. For sport mode, we go down and across. Okay. And with this, just press the Land Rover logo, and the drinks holder pops up. These two center console armrests. Just press this pull, and you can actually pull it forward and back. So we're just going to do a quick demonstration on how the self-parking works. So we've got ourselves a spot. We are going to press it up. So we're going to choose to do a perpendicular park just here. So we've got the little function here now telling us to drive forward. So we're just going to drive forward. It's just looking for a park, looking for a park, looking for a park. Okay, cool. So it's found a park. So it's now telling us to select reverse, which we've done through there. And now the biggest bit of advice we can give in self-parking is you control the accelerator and brake. Okay, so it's going to let us know where we're going. We've now got the auto sign saying, so now we know we're not going to touch the steering wheel. Okay, and all I'm doing is taking my feet off the brakes. No hands. See? Now, always remember you do control the accelerator and brake. And if you're ever unsure, just drive. It will get you within millimeters, this thing. So I'm just going to stop drive. We're just literally following the instructions, and you can see on the camera how we're going. Just drive. Just literally taking my foot off the accelerator and brake. A little bit of accelerator right at the end. Tiny bit though. Always remember because and we're done. For the sunroof controls, this particular Velar's got a full sliding panoramic roof. This button here is just going to be for your cover. So you can literally press and stop that from there. And one button for tilt, second press to fully open as we're coming through. The two buttons across here, this is for your in-control setup, which we will set up for you on delivery. Button on the left-hand side is for your roadside assistance, and the button on the right-hand side is for your 000. So that will call the police, so only do use it in emergencies. So that's all. Thanks very much for watching our handover video. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask myself or the team at Melbourne City Land Rover. We're always happy to help and run through the cars for you. Enjoy your brand new car and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.